concept behind this little jig that I made up was to hold the drill, the auger bit, at the proper angle so I could sharpen it. Now most of these auger bits that I start working on are so far gone it takes a lot of work to get them back sharp again. One of the problems that I run into is people want to sharpen something and not have to remove a whole lot of metal. So they try and increase the angle. Instead of having it at about 30 degrees, which is following the spiral of the drill, they try and make it about 40 degrees, sometimes as high as 45. Now 45 will cut, but it doesn't cut well, and it doesn't help the bit at all to try and dig in if instead of having a nice sharp angle going in, it's scraping. Makes the bit work too hard, causes it to plug up and strip out. Now what I want in a drill bit is a 30-degree angle. And you only file on the back edge. If you file on the front edge, like this one was, it does two things for you. Neither one are good. Filing on the front edge puts this surface flatter. Because just like having, I want a 30-degree angle there on the inside, they want to have this nearly flat because it's less metal to remove, and they think, well, they're sharpening it and it's going to work better. What happens is, when you sharpen it like that, when you lay a straight edge across the edge of the drill bit, it's almost 90 degrees to the center line of the auger. That means that instead of cutting, it's scraping. It's just going along. The drill bit is laying flat on the surface, so the cutting edge can't engage, and it doesn't cut. You got the front edge, you got this surface at 45, so it's sitting like this. You got the bottom surface flat, so it just skates along. Doesn't cut for diddly. They also think that they're supposed to file down these spurs on the drill bit. They're supposed to file those down. Well, they file them down all right. They file them down so that they barely protrude above the surface. The idea of the spur is to cut a circle in the surface. And that spur cutting a circle means that when the cutting edge of the bit engages, it's got a nice little loose chip there. All it's got to do is just pick it out. It takes away a lot of the work that this radial edge has to do. It makes the drill bit cut ever so much better. But because people don't pay attention to what they're doing and they want to do it fast and easy, they mess them up. Funny thing is, it takes no longer to sharpen an auger bit correctly than it does to do it badly. Now, I use this jig. I build it. I like it. If you don't have one of these jigs, you can still sharpen. Because all this does is grip the bit so that I can take my file and sharpen. See how I've cut that away so that the auger bit angle is almost the same as that. So when I'm running this file through there, the file doesn't hit. And it keeps me from running it like this, because I don't want to run it like that, even by mistake or by accident, or somebody not knowing what they're doing. I want this fixture to make it so that you have to sharpen the auger bit correctly. Now this one is in such bad shape, I'm going to get out a big file and I'm going to take some serious slicing on this auger bit. I have to remove a lot of material to get that angle back down where it belongs. Now when you look at this file, it's pretty coarse, but it's also got a safe edge on it. There's no teeth on the edge of the file, so as it cuts and I'm running against the center of the auger bit, this edge won't cut, so I can cut down this direction, but it can't go into the bit. There. I've got the angle right. I can use this finer file and just dress that edge. This auger bit file has also got a safe edge on it. One side is coarse, one side is fine. I just flip it over, tighten up the U-bolt, go after it with a big file. Now that surface is sharp. The U-bolt is something that I came up with just to hold the bit in place. It has enough clearance under the U-bolt that I can put a 1-inch bit in there and file it. I'm going to tell you that you never want to do this. And why is that? Well, you never want to do this because you never want to have to. The only reason I'm doing this now is because somebody has goofed up this auger bit. So I'm going to have to file those top edges square again. So I got a relief angle on them. To do that, I just tip this thing straight up. When I talk about relief angle is just the amount of clearance you got on the back side of the blade. And I use a jackknife as an example just because a lot of people understand it, and it's easier to see the concept. If you take a jackknife and you just rub it across the surface, it doesn't cut. All it does is rub. But if you take that same jackknife and raise it up a little bit, now it's cutting. Flat, nothing. Relief angle, and it cuts. It's because I'm holding it with a relief angle. When I talk about the auger bit cutting, I want to have the front edge of that auger bit doing the same thing as this jackknife blade is. Hitting, engaging the surface, biting in, and cutting. Just like that. So what we want to do is we want to have this auger bit have relief angle or clearance on the back side of this sharp edge. Take our file and we hold it so that we get a relief angle. Then, still holding it at that angle, we need to file down until we're starting to reach the flat edge of the auger bit. How much relief angle do you need? 10 degrees is plenty. All you want is to have this thing have enough of a slope so that the front edge of that bit has got something to dig in. We don't want it flat, we want to have a little angle on it. 10 degrees is more than enough. Now we have about a 10-degree relief angle. We have a sharp edge. Let's try cutting a piece of wood. I'll take this piece of scrap wood. We'll see if we can drill a hole in it. Now we poked through the backside. We want to come around to the other side of the wood, and rather than trying to punch it through from the front, we're going to come in from the back. Now, no splinters. Now, something I started doing because I have many drill bits. I said, okay, every time I want to drill a hole, I'm going to take a drill bit out of this rack and sharpen it. And if I don't have a drill bit to the right size in that rack, I'll go in to the drawer over there where I have a lot more drill bits, and I'll pick one out of there. That way, I know that as I'm going along, I'll have drill bits sharpened up and ready to work. Now, some of these, the reason they're in there, are just so bad that I don't think I can make them cut anymore. Let's see how this one does. Nope. First time it bit into the wood, it caught and broke it. This auger bit is ruined. Now, maybe somebody with a TIG welder could weld a little bit of metal on there and make a spur, but it's always going to splinter. See how that's cutting? It leaves chips stuck in the side. This one, no chips at all. This one, rough, torn edge, not cut. Now this one's dull as a butter knife. I haven't sharpened it at all. Haven't done anything to it other than stuck it in that rack to say, okay, I got to touch it up. But it's got spurs on it. And those spurs are letting it cut. Not cutting well. Requires a lot of force to get that edge to go through. But even dull, it's cutting. Flip it around, put the pilot thread in the hole. Cuts right on through. And this is what you should get out of a hole if the bit's got good threads or spurs on it. It's going to cut a little donut out of there, just like that. And the hole is going to be nice and clean. And even though that bit's dull, and it is, it's not sharp at all. The edges are rusty and hammered up, filed incorrectly, but those spurs makes all the difference in the world. Got a relief angle on it. It's got the spurs high enough. The spurs are dull, but they're there. So it's cutting and doing a pretty good job of it.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union without the express written permission of the parents or the legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.